Hello and welcome to Fat Man in a Cheap Sim. It's Hugh Hattrick here, and this time I thought I would show the race from Bathurst, which is race C. Now this time I started 14th as Crichton Starbug in the Corvette, and for the first time ever at Bathurst I actually started to like it. I actually enjoyed playing this game, because normally I've never quite been able to manage the GT3s that well. In the end, I'd only qualified on this race, to be fair, as a 2:01.5, which wasn't fantastic. When I did a bit more time trial, I got down to a 2 minutes 0.8. It was slightly better, but still quite a long way off the top guys. But it's a good track and I enjoyed it. The Corvette was actually very stable, and it made it really quite an enjoyable car to drive. So already somebody's gone off and we're up to 13th place. But this was a race where you needed some strategy. You could either do a soft medium, because you had to use the medium tyres. The soft tyre was pretty good, it was much faster, and it was quite a nice tyre for the car, to be fair. But here we go, up along the long straight, going up into the top right-hander. This is the thing, do you let people go ahead or do you try and hang on into it? Normally our braking wasn't too bad here and we could keep the car in. It's a tricky one, trying to make sure that you get it right. But we had managed to stay in front so far and hold that 13th place. Then it's a really tricky left-hander here. You've got to try and glide it in, but it can be twitchy. And then you go up the hill onto this midsection, which is quite ropey, but great fun. And if you get it right, you can save a huge amount of time, something that I definitely need to work on. But what I'll do is, I'll give you some better shots than just the outside shots. So we have Richie Boy Richard in 12th place. He's the one in front, and then there's a bit of a gap to the car behind. So can we make up some places? Now this was a bit where quite a lot of people, there's a lot of battling going on, and it was making quite a difference. I also, when I did more time trial, I was trying to find the best ways to go around these corners, making sure my line was right, because it's very easy to either clip that wall and then you get a very, very slow exit. But the Corvette was quite good power-wise, so you could tend to make up some places just with that. So normally we would do 4 laps on the softs and then another 4 laps on the softs and then do 1 lap of the medium and to see where we get on. But there was also quite a lot of argy-bargy, as you'll see later on in this race. Quite often people were trying to tap you here and there. It was pretty ropey, I have to say. Normally I thought, because the lobby wasn't too bad, it would be a lot better. But look at that, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars, I think I counted, if that's correct, in front. I mean, we're only finishing lap 1, but it was pretty close, as you could see. That's quite a good shot there as well, isn't it, from the end car? It looks so crystal clear on a lovely sunny day at Bathurst. Now, getting that first turn was also crucial, trying to stay in 3rd gear and running it out as wide as you dare, because if you've got it too much you would just go well wide and that would be it done. So, can we catch up a little bit? He's the one for folk who like the pads, to play on the pad. You can see it from that side, like the outside view. So we made up a little bit of time here, and we've got the Irish Andrea Pro 72 in front. And this was a tricky one, because trying to get this right, if you get a good exit you could really make up time, and if people made a bad exit you could sometimes get past them. Coming into the right-hander, it's a crucial corner, that very easy to run wide and hit the wall on the left. And then coming round here, this is a really tricky corner, because a lot of the time it's so easy to hit that wall on the right, and then you've got this also tricky corner with a big concrete wall if you take too much curb, and then knowing when to brake. Some people are able to really kind of straight line that, and I was a little bit off, to be fair, on that corner. Slightly better there. And then you start the downhill section into this very, very tricky left-hand bend. You don't want to touch it too early. That wasn't too bad, but we've got a chap with a 1 second penalty. So it definitely, even though I was on the started 14th, the soft tyre definitely, it really helped, and it gave you a lot of grip compared to the medium. So now we're up to 11th, so we moved up 3 places, and just coming up to a couple of laps. And also I found the braking very good in the Corvette. It was quite a decent machine there. Coming into the final corner already, we've got somebody coming into the pits. Of course, you didn't lose very much time. It was only about 4 or 5 seconds, roughly, to do a tyre change. You didn't need to worry about fuel. And here we come to start lap 3 of 9. really got to try and move up the field so we can see how well we can do. I have to say I've gotten slightly better at Group 3 racing. I've been taking part a lot more in the daily races that they've had, which has certainly helped. And of course I'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock on Monday, as you'll get this on Sunday night. We'll be back doing our daily races as well, and I was going to try and see if I could get an ACC stream in between at some point, because I know that many of you like Assetto Corsa, so we'll try and do some of that as well, and we'll maybe even try and do some rally stages on dirt, just for the kind of daily challenges that they have. But here we are, we're still in 10th place, so we've moved up 4 places overall, trying to get that curve right and not touch the wall. I noticed quite a few people use the Aston. I don't know if it was particularly stable or if it just seemed to work quite well, but it was quite a popular choice. And then coming there, see, I got the line all wrong coming out of there. You can take quite a lot of the, just a bit of grass on that kind of first sharp left chicane, and then try and get a good exit. You need to be on the power early. It was just a wee bit slow. And when you see these record times, a big shout out to Mew79, who's did a 1:59.1 here, which is amazing, really. I mean, even at my best time, I'm like 1.7 seconds slower. So he obviously knows what he's doing. Coming into the braking zone, I often felt, am I braking a little bit too early? But it's such a fine line for that chicane to get it right. Now there's a few more people going in to the pits there, but we'll try and do another lap on the softs and then we'll change over. Let me know in the comments as well what you thought of this race, and if you thought it was fun, if you did quite well in it. It's always good to hear from you. And this is the Rev Racing. I don't know if that's a reverend who is a racing driver in his spare time or a sim racer, but you'll see a bit more of him in the next few laps, because I think twice on our pit stops he tends to come out just a little bit in front. And now we're beginning to catch up with the field, as some have made their tyre stops and others haven't. The key thing was, because I was starting quite far back, I just wanted to try and get in amongst the pack a bit, try and get the fastest tyre and do what I can. There were, maybe perhaps coming in a little bit earlier, maybe doing an undercut and maybe missing some of the traffic, because some of these guys were quite slow because they were battling. So I'll need to work on my racing strategy a bit more, because I think sometimes it does work. Because I felt that my soft tyres could have maybe lasted a wee bit longer in places, but oh, there goes one. Now we're up to 9th. Certainly my tyres didn't seem to be too much worse the wear overall. They were keeping going. That's almost as I'm going to say quite a good exit. Then we just touched the wall on the right, and that has brought the BMW right there. He was pretty much with me the whole time for this lap. I'll give you some other. Look at that. That's a better shot. Right the way through. Here they come. But they were quite good on the brakes. Only too bad. And I just managed to, as they would say, hold my line. And then into the pits, because we've done 4 laps and I wanted my tyres to last. Here we come. It looks very clean. There we go, we're back to 10th place. We were up to about 8th or 9th, I think, at one place, but then now we're back on the next set of tyres, so we should have a bit of a chance to catch up. And the good thing is there's a bit of space in front, so hopefully we can get some good lap times. As you see, going up the hill, it is quite steep actually, and there's 8th and 9th in front, so we haven't really lost a lot of time at all. We've not been too bad, and those guys will have to come in at some point. So how many places can we make up? I would have done more of these races actually, to be fair. Just has been a very busy week, so I had limited time to get on the PlayStation and have a go. And the This is the mid section here up at the top. And then starting to come down the hill, trying to straight line it almost, so you can just take that curb, keep the car nicely in, and that wasn't too bad. Yep, that was a reasonable exit overall. That's what it's like on board. Not too bad an exit there. Onto the straight, is it the Conrod Straight? The one that the kind of back straight. You can see there's at least 4 or 5 in front. Now, is it possible I might come out in front of some of them? We'll have to see. Certainly we've definitely caught up a lot on that straight, that's for sure. It's a hard one to avoid that big left curve, because if you hit that it can really knock the car for 6. Now 2 people are coming into the pits. And now we complete another lap of Bathurst. The blue flags are waving, so people will be joining. So we're up into, well, we're 10th place. I think we're still 10th place overall, and then on to the straight. But this is when it's going to start to get a little bit more interesting as we close up on the pack, and we can definitely make up a lot more places. And a few of them are battling in front. Oh, there's a penalty up there. A 1 second penalty. Be interesting to see where the Reverend ended up. Oh, we've got the Nissan, which is quite a tricky car to control, especially coming out of slow corners. It could be a bit of a handful. Here we are. Yeah, we're definitely catching up with the Nissan, who is going to brake first coming into the chicane. And this is, if you can get the flow right, this is you can save so much time. But for a lot of that race I wasn't hitting the left apex very well, and it just on that first drop. Now we'll hopefully pick up a place in front as the 1 second penalty takes place there. And look at the speed difference. There's a huge speed difference coming into the big chicane. And here we come, we're up into 8th place. So we made up a couple of places there on that lap, which is good. And you can see there's 4th, all the way to 4th in front. Lots of Corvettes, and there's carnage going on behind. This is quite a good, I love the kind of the bonnet view as well. And then on to the straight, up the hill. I think we'll probably be catching up more of them as we approach the next few corners. Here we go through, trying to pick the braking point, hold the momentum, take a little bit of curb on the right, bring it out onto the left. We're definitely a little bit closer to the cars in front, which is important, because we're starting our 3rd lap on these tyres. Or is it our second lap on these tyres? Can we get some good momentum around here? Quite often people hit the wall there. Amazingly nobody's headed off. Then into the tight left-hander before you go onto the back straight. So it's pretty much even Stevens as we come down to the back street. We're no closer, but no further away than where we were. Can we make up some more places? What will happen? Let's get some action as we head down the street. Now, seemingly in days gone by, there wasn't a right-hander here, and it went straight all the way down into the final corner, which would have been something else. Just managing to keep the car on the road there, just Very hard to get a good braking point. And then into the final corner. Oh, I've gone way too deep, and that has totally ruined the chances of going further up. It's a hard one because you think there's not, you think you've got enough room to brake there, but it very quickly comes back on you. Right, can we catch up? Because we've got another lap or two to go on these tyres. Now, thankfully, we haven't lost. Well, we're in 8th place. We've lost 3 places, but those cars are not too far away. Oh, there's a yellow flag. Oh, now we've got green flags. But clearly something's been going on. Here we are, over the top section now, trying to keep the momentum going. And then of course we're going to have to come in to do 1 lap on the mediums, which is a real pain. Some people were doing that on the first lap. They just used the medium for a lap to get it out of the way, and then they would change to the soft, and I could understand why that might be a reasonable thing to do. It's just depending where you start, you don't want to go right back down the field. But I suppose it's give or take and see what happens. On to the back straight. Oh, somebody's gone wide. And onto the grass. And here we come, right the way down. Funny line there, should have turned it a wee bit earlier. I've let the Mercedes go a wee bit. Yeah, some people did use the Mercedes and said it was quite a good car. Right, so I'm coming in to do my... oh, dearie me, and how not to do it. How to throw away what was a good position, and once you're in the kitty litter, it's really difficult to do anything about it. So I'm down in 17th place. And I'm on the mediums. Is there anything we can do for a lap? I think it's going to be very hard. Let's see if we can catch the number 16th place driver up in front. Sadly, that was a mistake. All the reasons for us going back were our own fault tonight. I'm going to try and do a bit better. I had actually previous races where I'd finished 5th, I think, and maybe one I even got 4th earlier on in the week, but I didn't record them as replays. And we'd always started around about 7th or 8th on the grid. It's a tough race, going to keep it going for 20 minutes or more. But it was still quite fun. And on these nights you just have to grit your teeth and grin, bear it. And I might even, if I have a chance, play a little bit more of this tonight. We'll see how we get on. So we're down in 17th. It wasn't last, but it wasn't. There was only, I think, 1 or 2 people behind me. I think there'd been a couple of folk who hadn't finished who had maybe rage quit. But that just shows you, I was up in 8th and not far off the 7th and 6th positions. And that happens if you make these mistakes and you skid off, then it all goes horribly wrong. Because I think we had real potential to finish well in the top 10. Maybe even in the top 5 if we'd really had a chance. But there we go, coming up to finish the race at Bathurst. It's still interesting. It's a good one to do. Lots of excitement overall, and even when you do badly, yeah, well, you just grit your teeth and bear it. Well, that was Fat Man in a cheap sim racing at Bathurst in Daily Race C. Remember to catch us. We'll be back tomorrow night. That's Monday the 8th of February at 9 o'clock. For our race night. Take care and we'll see you very soon. Bye just now.